Social media is an instrumental part of day-to-day life for many people around the globe, especially in corporate settings. Employers can use it to gather information, promote, sell, and perform many other business practices. However, these activities are not always ethical. By 2020, the number of active social networking users worldwide will be approximately 3 billion. That is roughly 1 in 3 people who will have at least one account on a social media platform. This is a key component to globalization, which is a highly controversial topic. Sociologists are concerned that globalization will overpower regional and national culture and submerge it into a global capitalist culture that increases inequality.
Social media discrimination gives employers the ability to employ their bias during the screening process. An experiment done at Carnegie Mellon University showed a callback rate of 2.6% for Muslims and 22.58% for Christians. Current laws do not allow discrimination based on such a factor, but employers may use our past posts to cover up their prejudice. To combat this, employers should not look into applicants' personal lives through their social media posts. Companies can anonymize their applications, and testing based on discrimination laws should be more aggressive. Although social media discrimination is not the fault of the victim, we still must be cautious of what we post. There are even apps such as Cleanse which will help us remove our inappropriate content, but we still must be wary as many posts on the internet will live forever.
Internet giants such as Facebook and Google can track our activity across the entire internet at all times without our consent. And according to an investigation done by The Guardian in 2016, Google removed a clause in its terms and conditions in June that now allows it to combine personal and tracked information without your consent. This is done by using the collective resources of YouTube, Gmail, and Google.com to create personal profiles of users that is vastly greater than that of any other company on the planet. Furthermore, according to an experiment by Business Insider, immediately upon logging into Facebook, it launches 228 trackers to start following different activities as you browse the web, and with every web page visited, it launches more. This tracking and profiling of our internet activity is ultimately an ethical dilemma over who is allowed to control our personal information, and most of all, to profit over the selling and distribution of that information.
Facebook can decide, and has decided in the past, what posts they push and which they bury. The fake news movement being a good example of this covert censorship. They are steering the online narrative. The problem arrives when Zuckerberg's monster starts to influence actual political campaigns. Zuckerberg has boasted that this platform can make and break politicians, those with the largest following often winning their campaign and going on to seats of power. If this really is the case, this makes Facebook the man behind the curtain, the puller of strings, and the maker of political careers.
Looking at Google alone, they collect everything they possibly can on you, from what you do, where you are, and what you create. All this can be seen from Google's privacy policy, yet they don't mention whatsoever what they do with the information they collect from you. You probably haven't heard of Axiom before, or they're typically known as the biggest company you've never heard of. Axiom is one of the major data brokers which sell and buy data from other companies like Facebook and Google. The data selling industry is very loosely regulated and provides many ethical concerns.
Social media is a huge part of most people's day-to-day lives, and it helps us stay in contact with their family, friends, and allies. It gives individuals a platform to express their feelings on an infinite number of topics, allowing everyone to have a voice in times of crisis and or success. Giving everyone the opportunity to speak freely is great for spreading information worldwide, but with great power comes great responsibility. It's always important to remember the dark side of social media. Even though you are behind a keyboard, your actions still have repercussions. Thank you for listening to our presentation. Is there any questions?